You are listening to an interview with a featured Pride of Dakota member.
Hi, this is Sarah Kelch, and I'm sitting down today with Jessica Rockman with Four Dog Arts, and Scott Wild's going to sit in with me this morning, too. Welcome, everybody.
Hello.
So, Jessica, tell us about Four Dog Arts.
Four Dog Arts is a graphic and illustration service company that I started in 2007 and service to clients, mostly in the United States, but subsequently globally in places in Canada and other countries of Europe.
Okay.
And now tell us, because we have this lovely accent on the show. We were talking about the accents before. Where are you from?
I've spent some time in Australia.
Okay.
Spent some time? Are you from Australia, or?
You could say that.
Okay.
All right.
So how does...
I've seen it once.
How does an Australian girl end up in North Dakota?
I was living in the States anyway. I have family here, and I've subsequently spent many wonderful summers at my granddad's farm and so on. And most of my education has been here in the United States.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, wonderful. So,
And now I'm married, so I'm stuck.
You're stuck, married a North Dakota boy. You're here to stay, huh? So what made you decide to start a business?
The pool to start a business, it just seemed the right time. Being a history major, let's just say the list of available job opportunities is not a long one.
Okay.
But I was looking at the market. I was looking at what I was seeing out in western North Dakota at that time. This was just, 2007 was just a bit before much of the expansion starts happening, but the writing was kind of on the wall. and it was just a good place, and luckily it turned out to be a good time. You never know.
Have you been, what kind of graphic artist are you? I mean, what kind of medium do you work with, and what kind of graphic arts do you do, or what kind of artwork do you do?
Oh, fantastic question. These days, when I started, I did a lot of your more corporate end, your business cards and brochures and web design and media that printed and web medium mostly. Where the industry has taken me, and I'm very happy with, is more into book illustration, actually.
Oh, wow.
So I get to experiment with a lot of different publishers and authors occasionally, usually more art directors and publishers.
Wow, that's fabulous. So how many books have you illustrated?
I have illustrated more than I could come. I don't have an actual number to date. I do a few series. The Jewish Girls Around the World is a series chapter reader written by a talented Canadian lady, Marion Welsh, and I worked through Utica Press with them. I as well do a number of different webcomics. Those who may be listening that are into the webcomic, Comic-Con, steampunkery, what have you, will know what I'm talking about. And so do a number of that, different ones of those, as well as what's just come on the shelves here now starting. My own How to Draw series, the first book, has come out.
Oh, so you've got to illustrate. I mean, you're now passing on your craft to other budding artists, and
I sure hope so.
I see a book there called How to Draw Horses.
Yeah. Yep.
Fantastic. So do you have any other books in this series? I mean, is it just How to Draw Horses, or do you have like a How to Draw Humans that's coming up, or How to Draw Dogs, being four dog?
That would be telling.
Okay, so we'll leave that a mystery, but
this is the first one. The next one, we'll see how everything is received. So far, the feedback has been absolutely mind-blowingly positive. The next one hopefully will be how to draw dinosaurs.
Oh, cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
that is really cool. So
if you're 12, it's as cool as you think it is.
It is. Well, my kids actually have some of those, how to, I think we have a bug one or a car one or something, but they're really good for kids, to just get started.
Absolutely, no question.
Yeah.
I mean, and when other artists are willing to share their craft, I mean, I have a lot of respect for that, that people aren't just saying, this is my secret sauce and I'm going to keep it. And, so, I mean, I really truly think that when they can pass it on and fill the world with art. How long have you been drawing? I mean, has it been your whole life something that have you been exceptional at drawing, like in kindergarten, where people go, wow, look at that,
She's winning all the coloring contests.
Exactly. You didn't use coloring pages, you made your own, right?
Of course I'm particularly brilliant. Not that I'm at all biased in that opinion. No, I certainly doodling and sketching, and if I have a free set of hands, that is generally what I am doing. I'm constantly, call it a nervous tick, call it a hobby that's gone out of control.
Right on.
Drawing has always been something that I have personally enjoyed and have through. I've been lucky enough to share that with several other people around the world as well.
So, but you had a history major. Is that what you said? You don't even have an art background?
This is true. I do not have an art background. This is true.
But that's fascinating that you've turned, a pastime or a hobby or a tick, whatever you call it, into your business. That's pretty cool.
So, knock on wood. It has been a wonderful reception. I have been very lucky to meet the right people and connect with some very talented individuals, and you never know until it hits the shelves and you see the full reaction from the public.
Sure.
But it's been wonderful so far, and
that's what I'm curious about. How do you go from a graphic, doing some graphic work for corporate clients to how do people even find out that you can do illustrations for books? How do you make those connections?
That's a fantastic question. The publishing industry is one of those unique industries, we shall say. One of the best ways with folks that come up to me and ask, how do I get started in this? That's a huge question. You have to narrow that question down into, what do you want to illustrate? Do you want to illustrate scientific? Do you want to illustrate comics? Do you want to illustrate children's books? Or you have to focus it down. And sometimes more people are probably at how can I get some illustration work so that I can pay my rent? And that's a very valid question, but that's a more narrow question.
Yeah, it's the true starving artist model, right?
Yeah, exactly. We all start in retail. It's true. Get to your artist roots, work a retail job. It's true. Some of the best outlets out there that I point people in that direction. If you don't have somebody's business card or don't have the opportunity to take a working holiday to Chicago or Los Angeles or New York with your portfolio, is elance.com and guru.com. These are secure sites. The work is contracted. You're not going to get stiffed for your work, and often the work is repeat. If they like you and it's a good match, you will get repeat work.
Excellent. So do you have a particular, a book or an illustration or comic book that would be what you would consider one of your proudest moments? Or, if someone wanted to see what you would consider some of your better work, or, things that you would consider to be maybe your top 3 favorites, what would they be? What are the titles of those, and where would they find them?
Oh, good question. Probably my personal passion is certainly animal-related wildlife art. To date, it's how to draw horses.
All right, excellent.
As of this recording. Certainly, I enjoy, with the webcomicry, American Prophets is one of my personal little babies, which is not in any danger of being published anytime soon, but it's a fun outlet in the wee hours.
Can they get it on the web, though?
Absolutely. It's free on the web. Doesn't cost you anything.
And so do you do all the illustrations for American Prophets then?
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
and where do people find that?
They can go on to DeviantArt. They can Google it. It'll be in there.
Excellent. Well, I've seen DeviantArt. Yeah, absolutely.
The major art websites, there's a new big dog on top every few years.
Sure.
Right. Currently, DeviantArt is the big guy in the room.
Okay. Well, that's awesome.
So how long did it take you? I'm curious about your How to Draw Horses book. How long did it take you to come up to put this book together?
This book actually came together blazingly fast. For 84 pages, and what it covers I put it together in about 2 months.
Wow.
It was one of those fantastic ideas. Well, not that I'm biased or anything. It was definitely one of those ideas that were made in the company of good friends and a few adult beverages. And wouldn't it be fun to make a product, make a book, a tutorial that would encompass all the things that we loved about horses? All of us, who doesn't love those stories where, when a gangly outcast relates with a wild spirit, and this is why we love them, right?
Right.
And so what if there were no art directors and no rules, and what if you would put that together? And if there's one thing I have that I'm not in shortage of, it's scrap drawings. And so it was a matter of finding the words and putting it together in a fun way, in a way that would be engaging, that made you want to sit down and pull out a piece of paper and give it a try.
So is this for adults, kids, anybody?
Oh, this is for anybody. Mm-hmm. If you are interested in drawing rodeo, covered wagons, historical pieces, this is the perfect book. And if you're interested in drawing Olympic show jumpers and dressage artists, or the Russians. We have a troika in here. For the Greeks, we have much mythology. For it's the samurai. I have a samurai in the book. It encompasses. It's how to draw horses. Everything you wanted to know about drawing horses, their hardware, history, and mythology. There hasn't been truth in that sort of title since Jaws.
So is it how to draw Pegasus in there?
Absolutely.
Hey, see, I know my mythology.
So how has the book been received?
The book I finished it in October. We came out in November. I was just astounded and with the sales, and we got signed here in December. And it's happened so mind-blowingly fast. It's just the reception and the feedback. There's nothing better in the form of feedback than somebody who, at least to me, writes back and says how much they loved it, how this is exactly the resource. I was looking for something on armor. There's nothing out there on how horse armor goes together. It's in your book, and I love it.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, congratulations. That's amazing. That's a great milestone. And so it's just hitting bookshelves now. I mean, December, if you just signed in December, when did the first book come off the print?
It just came off. It was a self-published project. Yeah. There was no backer apart from myself. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
It definitely was just, this was great fun. Let's see if anybody else enjoys it half as much as we did.
So where can people get a hold of this book?
Oh, people can get a hold of this book. Please, please, please shop your local retailers. If you're listening in North Dakota, in Dickinson, JP Frame Shop, right downtown. If you're in Bismarck, the Bismarck Art and Gallery, right over on Front Avenue.
Yep.
If you're in Fargo, Zambros is a great partner with us. And if you're listening elsewhere around the world, by all means, Amazon is open 24/7.
Love it. Love it.
So do you still participate in corporate graphic arts and that sort of thing as well?
I do on a more limited basis. It's not that I'm loyal to my great clients that have been so good to me over the years, and we have a great relationship with. And I occasionally take on a new product, a new client with the more graphic end. Mm-hmm. Certainly, it is not a matter of great opportunities, but time. There's only 24 hours in a day, and I want to be able to devote the right amount of time and research and feedback to someone. If the project's too big, I pass them on to another good freelancer.
Oh wow.
Sure. So what do you hope? What's up next for your business?
I certainly didn't see myself here doing book illustration 5 years ago.
Sure.
And I certainly project where I think I might be, but it's hard to say. The art field is one of those fields that is not easy to predict where it'll be in a few years.
Well, let's say that you could control where you're going to be in 5 years. Where would you be?
On a beach, drinking a little. No.
We would be there with you if we
She
could
tells
predict.
me not to leave it in. As if I'm not going to put that in the podcast.
On a beach with a drink with a little straw hat.
That's exactly what we want to put in the podcast. So you have no choice on that one.
Riding my horse.
Okay.
Beautifully, I have been so terrifically happy doing book illustration, working with other creative minds and so on. And if this is able to continue, and with the advent, the publishing industry is changing. Your tablet over there, your iBook over there, it is changing. It's changing from print to an electronic media. That's where it's changing. And so there is, for folks that are, I hear some, shall we say, almost doomsday prophecies with regard to the printed. There will always be bibliophiles such as myself that love a book in their hands. There's just nothing better. But for the realities of the industry are that they're just changing to electronic instead of printed.
Sure. So when you are creating your artwork, do you use like an electronic sketch pad, that goes directly onto the computer, right, into Illustrator, or are you using pen and paper or using charcoal, or what sort of mediums do you use?
That's a great question. It depends on what I'm doing, really.
Yeah.
I love my tablet. If you're listening and you're interested, Wacom is a brilliant brand, and I recommend them. Okay. You can get a cheap one cheap is relative term. You can get started for $100.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Let's just put it that way.
That's nothing.
You can get what you need. You don't need the biggest one on the market. A small one will get you everything you need. The freeware out there, certainly Adobe is. Let's be real. That's the king of
standard.
the market right now.
Yeah.
But if you're looking to get started, looking to get trained, looking to just play around with it, there's so much freeware out there right now. Sumo Paint and DeviantArt Muro, and I'm forgetting others.
Yeah.
But these are great places to start, even if you don't have a tablet. Even if you don't.
What brand of tablet did you recommend?
Wacom. It's WACOM. That is the brand I use. It's the brand I love and the one I recommend.
Excellent. No, I've worked with some artists that do a lot of graphic arts, and now they're starting to do everything. They love using their digital pads because it can just transfer right onto the screen. And he actually says that I have more options than I had before because I can airbrush without having an airbrush, set up. And
that's absolutely true. That's for folks that there will always be something magical about picking up a pencil.
Absolutely. No
a sketchbook
question.
is a security blanket you can carry around with you.
Do you carry one around? I mean, do you carry a sketchbook
Yes.
around with you? Okay.
Everywhere.
In case
I'm never without
inspiration
it.
hits you.
You never know.
Yeah.
But certainly with the digital, you always have the right color. You always have the right brush. You always have the right everything you need. It's right there.
Yeah.
It is still a tool. If you don't. If you're not practiced, if you don't have the skill to use it, it's not. You can't click and compensate for practice. Right. It really can't. Right. But it's a wonderful tool, and I probably don't think I could live without mine anymore.
Excellent. So, if someone listening to this wants to get a hold of you and start, and consider working with you as a graphic artist, do you have a website? And let's talk about websites, email addresses, phone numbers, or how would they get a hold of you?
Sure. 4, that's the number. Dog Arts. ARTS.
Okay.
.com is my website, and subsequently there's the blog and so on and so forth. All those things you can Google me. We have an AdWords account. You'll find me. That's a great way to get a hold of me. Email's all on there. The phone number is 701-590-0346.
Excellent.
Awesome. Well, it's been a lot of fun visiting with you today, Jessica. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much, Sarah, and yourself.
To learn more about this featured Pride of Dakota member, visit our website, prideofdakota.com. To become a featured Pride of Dakota member, send an email to prideofdakota@gmail.com. To listen to the full podcast of North Dakota Now, click on the podcast link on our website, prideofdakota.com. Thanks for listening.